and gentlemen, this is Dev again. And I'm here, and I haven't slept in a couple of days. And that's why I'm rambling, like a rambling man. Anyway, so for this demonstration, I moved to PV Guitars. And they're cool. They're really cool. Cool company, and they're helping me out. And, you know, when nobody else cared, they came around. And that's the same way I'm feeling about most people in my life, except for the bad apples, and I'm weeding them out, and you know who you are. Anyway, so in this guitar, I'm in the key of open B, if that's truly a key or a tuning. I'll call it a key because I'm a musically proficient type cat. And I used to be in open C, which was C, G, C, G, C, E, and now I'm in B, F sharp, B, F sharp, B, D sharp, which is substantially less interesting for me to just rattle off the top of my head. But, you know, in the scheme of things, it makes it a little heavier. I've moved to a clean tone for the new record, Key, and, you know, of course, I do the old heavy thing again. I'm going to be going back on the road probably next year sometime, and I'll be kind of putting all these 20 records together. You get some quiet stuff, you get some heavy stuff, you get some dancey stuff, you get some stupid stuff, you get some widdly, wanky stuff. And then I'm going to basically, at this point, just sort of run you through what I'm doing in this tuning. Because it is an open tuning, it's like you can kind of let everything resonate and everything ring out, you know, especially if you're doing all the sort of major sort of Lydian sort of ideas. And it's like I was always influenced by like sitar players, and, you know, like the ideas of, there's a flute player in the 60s named Paul Horn that kind of went and improvised in, you know, the Taj Mahal and places of spiritual significance. And there was this big long reverb on it. And for this demonstration, I've just got an echo, but generally I use a big rig of, you know, Eventide delays and reverbs that just give you this big, you know, crushing, hey there, I'm a 15-year-old rock god standing on the top of Mount Vesuvius playing 15 Marshall stacks to the gods type of sound. A lot of the, you know, the first 5 strings of your process here are, you can basically stick with the same fingering for each of the 2, right? And kind of get some interesting things, so when you're wanking around you can kind of like throw all those in. In terms of arpeggios in this tuning, basically the same thing applies. You've got shapes that span these 2 strings, and then it ends on this one, and this one's kind of an incidental. I generally don't use it except for like a grace note on the top, but for example, if you're doing an arpeggio, you could have like a, for a minor, and then you could go major, and then you can go flixadiddly and mita-gada-gada, and, you know, the augmented version of that, which is. But you see, the process is interesting because you're just basically sticking with the same shape, and that way you can move around and get some really interesting things. And actually, I've made a couple of records doing very little else. So, you know, no one bought it anyway, so it's cool. You know, secret's out, cat's out of the bag. But when I started thinking that maybe I needed just to jam with my buddies, hey, you know, I don't want to be a freak. I don't want to be on here an island of one. No way, man. I want to hang out with my friends. Let's jam. And they all playing really crappy blues licks. And I didn't know any. So I was like, I need to learn my blues scale in this tuning. So I did. It's the type of intuitive cat that I am. You're the type of guy who's, you know, really lonely and had a lot of time on his hands. So basically, here's your blues scale. Like if your root, you know, if your B is on the 12th, then whatever these notes are after, I'll leave you to figure that out because it's a test. I do know. It's like basically, so there's your blues scale, like a pentatonic or whatever that thing's called. Penta meaning 9 and tonic meaning type of drink. So it's a little less friendly to play than your standard tuning, but you know, you can do all the stupid, you know, Chuck Berry-esque type of things. So there you go. And I won't bore you with it because, you know, my blues chops will very obviously blow your minds, and, you know, it would be messy for everybody. So I'll just leave you at that. There's your blues scale. Play it everywhere. Look, here's your root, right? Whatever that is. Your jam band's going. You can go. Right? You can get along fine, man. And you can point and do the knowing nod. You can be like, right? But I usually just do that. That's where the secret's safe.